Police say they have caught the Craigslist killer. He's a 22-year-old medical student and is accused of killing one woman and robbing another. But there may be more victims. CBS News correspondent Daniel Seberg is in Boston with more. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Police are confident they've caught the right man as details of this 22-year-old student are slowly emerging.
This is the face Philip Markoff showed the world. On his engagement website, he's all smiles ahead of his August 14th wedding. But it may be these images of the alleged Craigslist killer for which he's better known.
Philip Markoff was arrested for the murder of Julissa Brisman on April 14th.
The New York City woman advertised her massage services on Craigslist, the internet's version of newspaper classifieds. Markoff is also charged with kidnapping and armed robbery involving another woman who advertised on the site.
This guy left himself open. He left electronic fingerprint.
That allowed police to apparently track his computer activity. And the man in the surveillance videos clearly loved technology, seen here checking his BlackBerry.
They've followed high-tech leads and they've used old-fashioned shoe leather.
Authorities had Markoff under surveillance for days before making their arrest south of Boston, shocking those who knew him.
He was a totally normal guy to us.
Markoff will be arraigned later today at the courthouse here behind me. Harry?
Daniel Seberg in Boston this morning. Thanks. Joining us now is Joe Coe, a former classmate of Philip Markoff's. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you were at SUNY Albany with him. Mm-hmm. How well did you know him?
I knew him fairly well. He was really good friends with one of the men that I lived with, and he was over my apartment frequently.
Right. And what was the general impression of him?
He was an average man, very unremarkable. There was nothing that really stood out to me as something special. He would say off-colored comments about women and oppressed people, which would become an argument with me and some other people that lived in the apartment.
Would you describe him as misogynistic?
I would say that he was so, as much as most men in our society are. So there was layers of it, but it wasn't anything that was like overt. Like you wouldn't think of him being a card-carrying member of the KKK, but he was someone that had issues with people of color, had issues with women.
Okay, so when you heard about this, what went through your brain?
Initially shock. I couldn't believe that someone that was in my apartment, that I've had dinner with, that I've spoken with, could be a perpetrator, allegedly, of these kinds of horrific acts against women.
Yeah. Did anybody you know, any girls that dated him or people in your particular social group ever say, this guy's creepy or this guy gave me a bad vibe?
I heard that a lot, and I've been hearing that a lot since this broke. Yes. And it's that misogyny and that male entitlement really comes out, and people are starting to talk about that.
So interesting. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
No problem.
Really appreciate it. And joining us from Washington is criminal profiler Pat Brown. Pat, good morning. Let me try that one more time. Pat, can you hear me okay?
Hey, Harry.
Oh, there you go. All right, terrific. What do you make of what you've heard thus far in the last dozen hours or so about this guy?
Well, I'm interested in what I just heard, and that was what I expected. People ask me, is there going to be anything about this guy that people are going to recognize? Is there going to be a history? And I said, absolutely, because you don't just turn at this age, you're second-year medical student, you suddenly decide you're going to go rob people and shoot women. So there had to be a psychopathy running for a long time, and there had to be behaviors that would, once you look back, you'll say, wait a minute, he does have some peculiar things about him, some, as you said, creepy things about him that have basically been ignored or minimized, and you don't expect a person to turn out to do this kind of thing, so you just sort of accept it.
How interesting is this, though? Because here's this guy, he's clearly smart, is in medical school, is familiar with technology. He leaves a trail all over the place.
You kind of wonder about his intelligence, don't you? But I think the real problem is that he feels omnipotent. He just feels like he's not going to be caught. He thinks he's so smart, he doesn't even pay attention. He just thinks he can get away with everything. And probably he's been able to get away with an awful lot in his life, either through his family or through his school. Something has given him so much entitlement that he simply thinks he walks on water. And he's now found out, of course, that he does not.
And the other part of this is there's this Facebook page with his wedding and this whole celebration of this other part of his life.
Well, right. He's obviously able to get through life doing the things that normal people do, but he's got this side to him that people did not realize was there. And one of the questions was, why did he commit these crimes? Were they just robberies? And I do not think they're just robberies. And now we're hearing he's misogynist. He has a hatred of women, and he wants to abuse them, and he wants to control them, and he wants to do things to them. So he has this particular method he's used, which is a robbery, but he could easily go on to sex crimes or anything else. He just loved tying them up and having that power over them.
Pat Brown, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Harry.
Do appreciate it.